Okay, so good day everyone, and I would like to discuss to you regarding the managing the environmental issues of modern agriculture. How can we manage the environmental problems, especially tayo mismo yung isang contributor doon sa pagbabago ng klima, and at the same time doon sa nagiging effect nung mga ina-apply natin sa environment natin. Especially, ang isa na kino-contribute natin is the carbon dioxide and also the nitrous oxide. Okay? So, yung mga nitrous oxide natin, mga methane natin, the carbon dioxide, agriculture also contribute on that particular chemicals that may affect the greenhouse. Especially ang greenhouse natin, siya mismo yung nagbabalance doon sa temperature. But because of our modern practices, especially in agriculture, nagbabago na mismo yung environment natin because of our practices. Example sana, kapag tayo ay nag-apply ng fertilizer or excessive use of fertilizer, kapag yan ay nag-exhaust sa environment natin, ang unang target niya is to deplete the greenhouse. Okay? Because the greenhouse ay isa sa pinaka-sensitive, especially once na naapektuhan siya ng mga chemicals na galing dito sa ating planeta. And at the same time, ang bounce back niya sa atin is it may cause a global warming. Okay? So, the environmental issues are it affects the human activity, effects of human activity on the biophysical environment. If we say biophysical environment, ito mismo yung biosphere natin kung saan tayo nagkakaroon ng activity or kaya ito mismo yung nasa lupa. Okay? The environmental issues are the harmful effects of human activities on the environment. So this includes yung mga pollutions, the overpopulations, waste disposal, yung pagbabasura natin or something na hindi natin na i-manage yung pag-dispose ng mga chemicals or kaya yung mga bottles ng chemicals wherein yung iba ay itinatapon na lang mismo sa mga tubig na nagkukos ng water pollutions. And also the climate change, the global warming that affect the greenhouse effect natin. Okay? So, water stress occurs when the demand for water exceeds the available amount during this certain period or when the poor quality restrict its use. So, ang isa na nagkakaroon ng environmental issues dito sa atin is because of lack of water or yung mga plants natin because dahil mababa yung absorption nila ng water during drought, ang nangyayari ay nagkakaroon ng water stress. So, kapag drought and kapag excessive or kaya exceed yung water level, 'di ba? Kapag baha, nagkakaroon ng water stress. May dalawa tayong klase ng water stress, the drought and the flooding. Okay? So, the major current environmental issues in modern agriculture are monocropping. Okay? Kapag sinabi nating monocropping, ito mismo yung pagtatanim natin ng iisang crop. Okay? And burning of agricultural waste. So, yung mga farmers natin or uh, yung mga agriculturists natin or farmer na nagpo-produce ng mga gulay, ng mga rice, ng mga corn, instead na i-compose nila yung mga agricultural waste, ang ginagawa nila para hindi nila makita doon sa field, yung dumi na yon, they burned or kaya sinusunog nila. 'Di ba? Pero alam kong bawal sana 'yon. Wherein, alam nyo ba na yung mga agricultural waste natin, nandoon yung mga nutrients. Okay? Wherein, kailangan lang ma-decompose para ma-recycled. Pero ang nangyayari ay sinusunog naman. Kaya nga yung chemicals na available doon sa agricultural waste ay nag-e-exhaust, especially yung nitrogen natin. So if there is an excessive use of chemicals, that is one of the environmental issues. Like yung paggamit natin ng mga inorganic fertilizer and pesticides. Another environmental issues is yung erosion, abiotic stress, like yung water stress, the drought and the flooding, and the biotic stress. So kapag sinabi nating abiotic stress, ito yung mga non-living organisms na pwedeng makaapekto sa environment natin and especially sa mga plants natin. And then kapag sinabi naman natin biotic stress, ito yung mga living organism like yung mga insect pests, yung mga pathogens like yung fungus, bacteria, nematodes, molecules, fungi, or virus or viroid. So lahat ng mga yun is biotic stresses. If we say biotic stresses, living organism. And then kapag abiotic naman, non-living organism. So, environmental conflict is a conflict caused over environmental degradations. So, in the course of mismanagement of the environmental resources. So, what do you mean by conflict? Conflict means this is an extended struggles or a clashing or a sharp disagreement wherein conflict are in relations to climate change, conservations, water quality and availability, air quality, and management aspect. So, kapag nakakaapekto lahat ng mga component na ito, it will conflict on the environmental. Especially, ang sinasabi natin conflict dito is, pag tayo ay nagputol ng kahoy, ano yung mismong magiging effects? So, magkakaroon ng conflict on the availability of air, kasi once na tayo ay nagputol ng isang kahoy, ilan kaya yung mababawas or kaya ilan yung maidadagdag na heat sa ating environment? Ilang radiation kaya ang maidadagdag if there is a cutting of a trees? So that is so-called environmental conflict. Another one, kapag nagtapon ba ako ng basura, anong mangyayari? Siyempre, magkakaroon ng pollutions. Magkakaroon ng water pollutions, especially kapag ang ibinasura mo ay mga chemicals. So, kapag hindi proper yung disposals natin, magkakaroon ng environmental conflicts. Another one, example, is pag ba ako ay nag-apply ng abono or ng fertilizer, at sobra-sobra yung pag-a-apply ko without knowing doon sa soil analysis or without knowing doon sa proper management of fertilizer, what happened to the environment? So magkakaroon ng conflict or there is an struggle that may cause a degradations in the course of mismanagement. That is so-called environmental conflict. Ani? Or ano? So, the mismanagement of the environmental resources may be causing overuse of extraction of renewable resources, causing overstrains on the ability of the environment to respond to the pollution and other inputs, or degrading the living space of human and nature. So kapag tayo ay nag-e-expand at nagpuputol tayo ng mga puno or something mismanaged yung ginagawa natin sa environment natin, magre-reflect din sa atin lahat ng mga yon. Tayo din yung magi-struggle if patuloy yung ating pag-operate sa environment natin, especially kapag hindi siya manageable. Okay? Sa atin kasi bilang isang kabataan, kahit isang sachet lang nung candy or kaya isang piece lang ng candy na wrapper, hindi pa natin maitapon sa mismong basurahan, how much more doon sa mga malalaking mga disposal, di ba? Kasi nakikita sa attitude or performance or yung ability ng isang tao or knowledge ng isang tao, hindi dahil doon sa mismong professional or sa natapos niya, kundi kung paano mo mismo i-manage or makakatulong doon sa environment natin. Napakalaking impact yan. Kasi if you manage right yung mismong environment natin, makakatulong ka sa million of people. Once na tayo ay nagtanim ng isang puno, it gives a benefit to a million of people. So the modern agriculture have intensified continuously ever since the industrial revolutions. So the global climate change is destabilizing many of the natural processes that make a modern agriculture possible. Okay, so many of their techniques and modifications on which farmer rely on the boost output also harm the environment. So yung mga outputs or yung mga synthetic chemicals can harm our environment. So meron tayong sinasabi dito na renewable resources. So anong ibig sabihin ng mga renewable resources? So instead na kuryente ang gamitin natin, why not na gumamit tayo ng mga renewable like yung mga solar energy and others. So meron tayong isang, as you can see, meron tayong picture or figure na naipipresent ko ngayon wherein ang agriculture is modernized na or nag-a-upgrade. Kung nag-a-upgrade ang mga technologies natin, especially ang mga cellphone, nag-a-upgrade siya every year, ang agriculture sector din ay nag-a-upgrade in terms of technology. So kapag agriculture 1.0, it means that is a traditional agriculture wherein ang ginagamit niya lang is a human effort or a human power, okay, and animal efforts. So kapag wala kang ginagamit na machines at tao lang and animal power, ang tawag mo sa country na yan is agriculture 1.0. Okay? Pero kapag agriculture 2.0 naman, that is the age of mechanized agriculture featuring by rumbling sound. Okay? So meron ng mga tractor, meron ng mga machineries. Okay? So that is agriculture 2.0. Okay? So agriculture 2.0. Another one, that the agriculture 3.0 naman, automatic na yung mga machineries. Dito kasi is kakailanganin mo talaga ng mga manual na mga machineries natin like yung hand tractor, yung mga tractor, that is part of the agriculture 2.0. Pero kapag ang featured niya is high speed yung development, okay? So that is agriculture 3.0. Wherein to realize the agricultural machine automation and ang tawag doon, to realize agriculture machine automation and intelligence, it fall in the agriculture 4.0. Kasi ang agriculture 3.0 naman, improving the level of agricultural mechanization by information technology. So meron ng mga informations technology kung paano gamitin yung mga agricultural machineries na yan. And then ang agriculture 4.0 naman, we will need a intelligence. Okay? Meron na tayong mga artificial intelligence wherein mga robotics, electric motor computer. So yun ang agriculture 4.0. And then ang agriculture 4.0 din, naka-level dito yung Internet of Things or yung tinatawag nating IoT. Okay? And then ang agriculture 5.0 naman, new energy agriculture, wherein ang ginagamit na natin dito ay mga natural energy to support yung mga machineries natin. So, hindi na tayo gumagamit ng mga gasolines and other things. So, ang ginagamit na lang natin dito are mga electric motors, new energy or solar energy or mga wind power to operate that machines. Pero sa atin, dito sa Pilipinas, we are in the level of agriculture 3.0 and agriculture 4.0. So, ang agriculture 4.0 kasi, semi-technology pa lang tayo or semi-technology or half of the technology of the agriculture 4.0 ay provided pa lang dito sa Pilipinas pero hindi pa nagagamit at all. Especially sa mga farmers natin. 'Di ba yung mga farmers natin sa mga baryo or kaya sa mga municipality dito sa Isabela, we are not using an AI or artificial intelligence. Tama ba? So we are not use Internet of Things. Wherein, wala naman tayong mga technology or kaya mga advanced technology under the 4.0. So, ang Isabela is nagfo-fall pa rin sa Agri.30 or Agriculture 3.0. Okay? Because the Agriculture 4.0, that is precision agriculture, wherein we are managing the spatial and temporal change to improve the economic performance that combined with reducing inputs and environmental impact. So includes the decision support system tools for the entire management of the agricultural holding in order to optimize the yield on inputs while conserving the resources. So which are characterized by the widespread use of geolocations or yung mga GPS or yung geolocation systems. Okay? So aerial photograph, UAVs, and the latest generation of supernatural images provided by the Sentinel satellite. So that is part of the Agriculture 4.0, the precision agriculture. Okay? So magkakaroon na tayo ng course dito sa ISU Kabagan once na na-approve ng CHED. Meron na tayong course na Climate Smart and Precision Agriculture. Bachelor of Science in Climate Smart and Precision Agriculture pertaining on the Internet of Things and Artificial Intelligence. So, yun ang mga ginagamit na natin ngayon. Next, so the Agriculture 4.0, ito yung kanyang description wherein we are using a predictions or detection technology kung ano yung mga diseases nung isang crop using our phones. So, pipicturan lang natin yung isang disease or kaya yung isang pest, malalaman na natin kung anong klaseng insect yon. Ano yung type ng insect na yon, ano yung scientific name niya, paano siya i-manage. So, papapag-aralan natin yan sa Decision Support Tool. Okay? Wherein, gagamit tayo ng phone and then we will capture mismo yung insect na yon and then i-identify nung mismong application kung anong klaseng insect yon. And at the same time, smart irrigations. Anong ibig sabihin ng smart irrigations? Once na na-detect nung technology or kaya nung machine na yon or nung equipment na yon na kulang na yung tubig sa lupa, automatically magbubuhos ng tubig. And then smart soil fertilization and then smart spraying. Okay? So, this is the Agriculture 5.0 wherein yung crops natin para ma-determine yung mismong status ng crop, kakailanganin natin ng sensors using the equipment like yung machineries. Through the machineries, hindi na mismo kailangan ng tao para mag-operate. Ang kakailanganin na lang natin is the software or the data wherein automated na yung mismong paglakad ng mga machines doon sa field to detect mismo yung crops, especially yung status ng crops natin. Through the decision of the people, especially we implement. Okay? We implement through the use of artificial intelligence or robotics. And then, actuation. Anong ibig sabihin ng actuations? Kapag sinabi nating actuations, automatically, once na sinet mo siya into that particular time or a date, automatic na magre-regenerate or mag-ooperate na mismo yung mga technology na yan. So, hindi na kailangan ng tao. Ang kailangan lang is the machines na isi-set lang natin. O, di ba? Ang ganda ng Agriculture 5.0 pero hindi pa natin nare-reach ang Agriculture 5.0 ha. Nasa Agriculture 3.0 pa rin tayo. In between the Agriculture 3.0 and Agriculture 4.0. Okay? So, next one is the management of the environmental issues in modern agriculture. So, ano yung mga issues or ano yung mga problem or management ng tao na nakakapag-apekto or nakaka-apekto doon sa environmental issues natin? Number one is monocropping. If we say monocropping, this is the continuous cropping as the practices of cultivations of the same crop. So, once na tayo ay nagtanim ng iisang crop sa iisang area, magkakaroon din ng management issues yan. Wherein, based doon sa pest management, especially kapag tayo ay nagtanim ng iisang crop, Siyempre, kapag merong pest, hindi mo makokontrol ang pests and diseases doon sa area na yon kasi isang crop. Okay? So, if you plant only one crop, it may affect the environment, especially in pest infestation. Okay? So, pero, ang advantage kasi ng monocropping, na it increase the productivity and efficiency based doon sa needs ng community. It can open a room for a new technologies. So, kapag may mga technologies, iisang operations na lang, iisang management, iisang practice lang yung gagawin natin kapag monocropping. Kaya nga tinawag siyang mono means one. One crop at a time or one crop in a field. So, specialize yung production natin kapag monocropping and it maximize the yield. And it is easy to manage, especially when you are using technology, when you are using an equipment or a machineries that may operate in the farm. And it gives a higher revenues. But the disadvantage of monocropping is pest infestation. Kapag sinabi nating pest infestation, ito mismo yung mga insect pests, rodents, weeds, diseases, lahat ng mga yon in general, that is pest management, na once na naapektuhan ang isang area, lahat na yan, okay, lahat na yan, maaapektuhan. And then, magkakaroon din ng higher pesticide use. Kasi kapag higher yung pesticide use natin, ang mangyayari ay magkakaroon ng effect sa environment. Soil degradation or erosions. And at the same time, magkakaroon ng fertility loss. Kapag sinabi nating fertility loss, mababawasan ng fertility yung soils natin. It deplete yung topsoils and at the same time yung humus ng soils natin. Higher use of fertilizer. Yan. Mataas kasi yung paggamit natin ng fertilizer na kung saan hindi naman talaga kailangan ng plants ng napaka-higher na fertilizers. Wherein, hindi tayo nagso-soil analysis. Higher yung water use. Yan. Mas madaming tubig ang kailangan. Decrease in biodiversity. So, lahat ng mga natural enemies natin ay mababawasan because of monocropping. Mamamatay yung mga biodiversity natin. Yung mga birds. Yan. Kasi pinuputol natin yung mga puno para lang meron tayong pagtamnan ng iisang crop. Example sana dito sa Isabela, kung corn, corn na lahat. Kung rice, rice na lahat. So it means magkakaroon ng effect sa biodiversity, especially sa mga endemic na mga animals. And also doon sa mga natural insect natin or enemies. And then magkakaroon din ng impact sa mga pollinators natin, madedeplete or mamamatay sila because of higher usage of pesticides. And then there is an economic risk. Anong ibig sabihin ng economic risk? Kapag nagkaroon ng pag nagkaroon ng flooding, nagkaroon ng environmental problems, lahat ay maaapektuhan. Okay? So, kung iisang crop yan. Example sana, nagkaroon ng drought. So, lahat yan, apektado. Okay? So, it affect the economic stability or it affect the economic operations. Na kapag na-drought ang palay, wala nang maibibenta sa market. At kapag wala nang naibenta sa market, anong mangyayari sa mga bibili ng palay? Or ano yung mangyayari sa mga bibili ng bigas? So, it means ay magkakaroon ng higher prices. Pag nagkaroon ng higher prices, that it means there is an economic problem. Okay? Next, reducing the effect of monoculture farming. Paano natin mare-reduce yung monoculture farming natin? We need to implement the crop rotation. Anong ibig sabihin ng crop rotation? Ito yung pagpapalit ng itatanim in every cropping season. Example sana, nagtanim ka ngayon ng corn. Kailangan next cycle, magtatanim ka ng ibang klase ng crop. Okay? Or magtatanim ka ng ibang variety ng corn maliban doon sa itinanim mong corn. Example sana, ang itinanim mo ngayon ay NK6110. Next season, magtatanim ka ng ibang klase ng variety. para ma-break natin yung cycle ng pests. Okay? Especially sa mga monoculture natin, very prone sila sa pests. Kaya nga, para ma-break mo yung cycle ng pests, kailangan magkaroon ka ng alternative or initiative na baguhin yung type ng crop na itatanim mo for the next cropping. Hindi man mismo yung type ng crop, pero dapat yung variety. Kapag sinabi nating variety, it means ito yung characteristic ng isang crop na kung saan magkaiba sila doon sa itatanim mo. Okay? Kung corn pa rin, ang itatanim mo, kailangang ibang variety siya. Okay? Next one, sa pag-a-apply ng mga fertilizer, especially sa mga rice, kailangan natin ng smart use of fertilizer. Like yung Philrice Leaf Computing Chart. Wherein, ito, itatapat mo lang doon sa leaves ng rice, siya na mismo yung magko-compute kung ilang fertilizer ang i-apply mo sa isang hektarya based doon sa informations na provide mo sa kanya. Especially, ang application na ito ay available sa Play Store except iPhones. Okay? Yung mga iPhones natin. Okay? It can assess the nitrogen status of the rice. Para kung ilan lang yung kaya or kaya kung ilan lang yung fertilizer na pwede nating i-apply on that particular day or on that particular stage, yun lang yung pwede nating i-apply. Kasi ang mga farmers natin or kaya ang mga nagtatanim, multi-hula lang yung ginagawa nila sa pag-apply ng fertilizer. But, hindi dapat. Okay? And then, kailangan moderate yung pesticide use natin. So, it increased use of artificial pesticide and herbicides not only damages the ecosystem but negatively impact the interest of farmers themselves. So, kasi kapag excessive yung paggamit natin ng pesticide, yung quality ng soils natin na degrade. Kaya nga, kapag sa monoculture, bawasan natin ang paggamit ng pesticide. Gumagamit tayo ng pesticide na wala naman palang peste doon sa area. Nakakita ka lang ng isang insekto, sabi ng mga farmer, spray na agad ang ina-apply. Spray na agad ang recommendation. Why not to assess mismo yung field natin before tayo mag-spray ng pesticides? Kasi ang pesticide is the last resort. Tama ba? They are the last resort in the pest management. Hindi siya ang first resort. Na kapag meron ng insect, it means i-assess mo muna or i-evaluate mo muna kung peste talaga yung insect na yon. Baka mamaya natural enemies. Kaya nga nade-degrade or kaya namamatay ang mga pollinators natin because of excessive use of pesticide. But in reducing the effect of monoculture farming, we need to moderate the pesticide use. Okay? So, that is for monoculture. Okay? Next one is burning of agricultural waste. So, in the burning of agricultural waste, ito mismo yung itatopic natin sa next slide nung discussions natin. Ano? So, please paki-panood ito for our next video na aking i-upload mismo dito sa YouTube para at least meron kayong reference. So, the burning of agricultural waste will be uploaded or discussed on my next videos. If you have any questions regarding our topic about monoculture, you can ask or you are freely ask questions. Okay? So, thank you very much guys and God bless.